Welcome to the This Mum Loves Tech podcast, the go-to show for female business owners who want to simplify tech and get the support they need to grow their online businesses with confidence. I'm Nicola Walsh, your podcast host. I'm also a mum to two cheeky boys and I love tech, so you don't have to. I'm here to share actionable tips, tools and strategies that will help you streamline your business and make the tech work for you. So whether you're watching after the kids have gone to bed or listening while on the school run, let's dive into today's episode and make tech that little bit easier. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of This Mum Loves Tech. Today I am joined by a brilliant guest. I have got Kim Brockway from Wessex Wise Woman, who is a breathwork coach. Now she's done an absolutely brilliant masterclass for the ladies of the This Mum Loves Tech membership. One of the ladies' comments afterwards that it felt like she'd been on holiday because she was so relaxed afterwards. So I had to get her on the podcast to tell us a little bit about her journey of how she got into breathwork, and tell us a bit more about what breathwork is and the effects that it can have for you. So hello Kim, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks. Hi Nicola. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, before we kind of dive into breathwork and getting you to geek out on the breathwork facts, because I know you are full of them, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you became a breathwork coach, because I know you said when you was doing the masterclass that it's something that you recently trained in.
Yeah. It's strange really, because I always remember as a child, if I was ever feeling, not very well or that I was going to be sick, my mum would tell me to breathe, just slow breathing, just breathe in and out, in and out. And I think our natural instinct when we are feeling panicked or ill is to slow our breathing down and take a breath. But I didn't really give it much thought until 2.5 years ago. So really, really quite recently. I was doing funnily enough, it was a business mastermind. And so I was learning all about how to run your own business. I was a book editor back then. But I was still working full time. So I had a lot of plates being juggled, trying to start my own business or trying to get more clients in and learning how to do it properly. And as part of the mastermind, she took us through a breathing technique to calm ourselves, to help us when we need to do live videos or when we need to put ourselves out there and be more visible, because we're all secretly afraid we're going to get completely blasted and so we're scared to put ourselves out there. So she taught us this breathing technique, and I was blown away at how quickly it changed my heartbeat. My heartbeat was racing. She told us to visualize standing on a stage in front of 200 people, about to tell them what we did. And my face had gone beetroot red. My heart was pounding. My brain just wouldn't focus on anything. I couldn't even remember my name. And then she taught us this breathing technique, and the panic level began to subside. And I actually was able to remember, yes, your name is Kim, and you are here because you are an editor back then. And I thought that was just amazing. That's magic, isn't it? I mean, she hadn't given me a pill. I hadn't had to take anything or do anything. I just had to change how I was breathing. Her name's Anna Parker Naples. So she's quite well known in some circles. And she was an absolutely amazing business coach. And then she found breath work herself the year or two prior to that, and she had started weaving it into her business. And so she was teaching us as part of our mastermind of how we could, especially service-based industries, by teaching our clients how to control how they're breathing, will then control the flood of cortisol or adrenaline or dopamine, whatever hormone would be going around to help you with whatever task you had to hand. And when she decided to open up an academy to teach this, I was one of the first people to say, yep, count me in. Um, would I have done it if I had known how much detail she would go into? I don't know. It probably would have scared me if I was honest, because it was like going back to A level chemistry, A level biology, more actually. It's a level 4, so it's close to university degree level, behind the scenes of knowing actually what happens to this amazing stuff that comes into us, what changes are taking place. And as I told your lovely ladies in the membership, I've become a bit of a breath nerd. I've I'm blown away by how simple it is, but how transformative it is. So I kind of changed careers. So I started off by thinking, oh, well, this breathing stuff that I'm learning would help my lovely independent authors to, when they got that blank page and a writer's block, I'd be able to help them through that. But by the time I'd finished the course, I qualified last year, so I really am very much a newbie. So I qualified last year, and I realised this has helped me with my menopause. It's helped me with my IBS. It's helped me with my migraines because I get ocular migraines. It's so much bigger than my independent authors. This is for more people out there. And I thought, well, as I'm a menopausal woman myself, let's just not say I'm helping everyone. Let me just help people who are in a similar situation to me. So women who are, you know, trying to run their own businesses, still got family, possibly parents on the other end of the scale,
Mhm.
who are getting to that stage where perhaps the parents can't do so much themselves anymore. So you're going around and helping them a lot as well. So juggling the children, helping your old, aging parents, trying to run your own business, keeping your home. You've then got menopause, perimenopause coming in, which is fluctuating your hormones anyway. And doing and learning about breath work, we had to do so much practical. We were doing 2 to 3 breathwork sessions a week. I still do 2 breathwork sessions a week with my classmates. Um, it really helped. It has helped me with the mood swings. It's helped me with my brain fog. It's helped me to relax. I told the story to your lovely ladies in the membership about when I was limping my way from Lark Hill, which is a village close to where I live, after seeing a client, to my home, and my car wouldn't work and I was in limp mode and I could only do 4 miles an hour on a 60-mile-an-hour road. And it was, I was getting really, really stressed out. And it was breath work that helped me get back to my home without having a nervous breakdown. Because I would have done. Honestly, I would have had a nervous breakdown. I would have been a mess on the A360. It wouldn't have been pretty. I would have been on the news. It would be awful. The tailback was long enough as it was, you know, and I was stressing out about causing all these lovely people to be late for whatever thing. It really has changed my life, Nicola. Breathwork is this amazing tool. And I was thinking, well, perhaps I could utilize, because I was a teaching assistant as well for about 10 years. I should go into schools with this. I should, so many of the little children, that I was helping, I was primary school, but primary school, secondary school, who can't this help? And my mind's just been completely opened, because this simple fact of changing the way you breathe can actually have a physical and emotional effect on your body. We were only I only did sort of like 3 different techniques with your lovely ladies, less than 5 minutes each, and it changed how you're feeling.
Yeah, because you asked everyone at the beginning of the session how they were feeling, and then at the end, and yeah, there was one of the ladies said it felt like she'd been on holiday because she'd been able to relax herself that much. And you said all you did was breathe. It's like it's something that what I think is such a great thing about it is it's something that everyone can do. So,
Yes.
certain people they can't get to do exercising necessarily, because of lots of different reasons. And there's other things that people would like to do or they don't have the time to do. Whereas like you said, the breathing techniques you did, 5 minutes, and it's something that children, adults, elderly, like you said, it is universal and can help so many people. Like I know with my son, he gets quite anxious about things, or when he gets quite upset. There was an episode actually on, we watched Spidey and His Amazing Friends, and there was an episode where they called it Hulk breathing.
Yeah.
And he does so every time now when he gets anxious, I say to him, let's do some Hulk breathing, because obviously that like connects it to him. But it is essentially just breathing slowly, calming yourself down, so then he's got a chance then to regulate himself um and yeah, get himself into a better state that he can then explain what's made him upset or got him, angry or something like that. So yeah, bravery is a very powerful tool.
Yeah, because when we're in that heightened state, we're in a critical mass, our body's flooded with these hormones. So our brains aren't thinking properly. Those neural pathways aren't allowing us to be logical, to think logically, to speak logically. You're just gut reaction, knee-jerk reaction. You're just rah! But by slowing down your breathing, I've got really an amazing fact actually. I don't like the phrase. It's called dysfunctional breathing. Um, we are supposed to breathe. Our bodies have been created the way that it has so that we should be breathing about 5 or 6 times per minute. Okay. What we tend to breathe, the general population, you and I, we breathe about 22
Oh
breaths.
wow.
Yeah. If you get the chance to have a little look at a baby lying in its cot and you watch a baby breathe, they have lovely, slow breathing. They breathe through their nose rather than through their mouth because, as I said in the workshop, that's where all the magic happens. The nose knows best. Um, their diaphragms, you can see the little diaphragms are actually helping to create that space to bring in the air into their lungs and to exhale the oxygen. So their whole bodies are breathing efficiently, functionally, purposely. And as we age, sadly, our environments, our social expectations, all these other things get loaded onto us, like you're carrying weights on your shoulders. And that affects how we breathe. I mean, how many of us pull in our stomachs to make us look thinner? Um, and that affects your diaphragm. You're not giving your the lung capacity enough to inhale properly. So when we're in that mode where okay, so we're out wandering and we see this scary saber-toothed tiger that is going to pounce and eat on us. Of course, we need our body to flood us through with adrenaline and cortisol to help us either fight to the death or run for hell to leather to escape to save ourselves. And then once we're in a safe situation, within an hour, 60 minutes to 90 minutes, all those hormones that are in our body that helped us escape this death-threatening situation then dissipates and gets exhaled out through our air. Now, the trouble with modern society is we think absolutely everything is a life-threatening saber-toothed tiger attack. And then we're not given that hour, 2 hours to calm down after it. It's one thing after another, after another, after another. And we're constantly on a high level. And so we have become accustomed to living in our bodies with this really high level of cortisol and adrenaline just flooding us. And it's like we're constantly waiting to fight or run away. Now, you've also got a third option, to freeze. And that's where people find themselves holding their breath. I was one
Mm,
of those. I was one of those. So I found, well, it's easier just not to breathe. I'm just going to hold my breath. If I don't breathe, nobody can see me.
yeah.
But that's causing exactly the same thing. That's flooding my body with the cortisol and the CO2, because it's telling our bodies we're in a very dangerous situation and we're going to need to escape from it or fight for our lives. Um, so yeah, as we were saying, every single person needs to be taught how to re-regulate themselves, to all be little
Mm,
babies, so that we can breathe normally and breathe effectively, because our bodies will heal themselves quicker. Um, Peter McGowan is doing some amazing things with, there's a breathing school called Oxygen Advantage, and he is focusing more on the athlete side of things. And he's been working and experimenting with their permission with athletes, and I'm talking Olympic medal athletes, and teaching them breathing techniques. And they're saying that their recovery times have halved because their bodies are more efficient. They are taking in their muscles and their the tissues and their brains, and everything is working more efficiently, which means that when they do dash that 100-meter yard, run, and they win the race and everything, it doesn't take them a day to recover. It only takes hours, because their body is working efficiently. Their gut is working more efficiently, and their digestive system is working more efficiently because of the way they're breathing. I mean, it is all linked. It is all linked. Sorry, I went into a bit of a breath nerd mode then, didn't I?
No, it's really interesting. And I think if we bring it back to like tech stuff,
Mm,
and women in business and things, tech
yes.
is something that stresses people out a lot, especially when they come up against something that's maybe not gone the way that they expected to, or they don't understand how to do it. So obviously the breath work can help calm them down if they've got into a situation that's caused them stress. But would you say that it'd be a good idea before you tackle something like that to also, put yourself into a better state with your breath so that then you can approach it more calmly? Because a lot of people, when I work with clients, they're always saying to me, "Oh, you're so calm with it." And
Mm.
I think if something is not going right with the tech, I do then try and stop and take a breath with it and be like, right, what is actually going on here? Because a lot of the time with tech, it's out of your control when something goes wrong. It's something happening in the computer systems, things aren't linking together. So you actually getting stressed about it isn't going to make it happen any quicker.
Yeah, yeah, precisely. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are certain breathing techniques that I would suggest, especially if tech is something that makes you anxious, because just the thought of, oh, I'm going to have to go onto my phone to sort this out, I'm going to have to go onto my laptop to sort this out, gets those little, you know, tingles or nervousness starting to boil. And if you can stop it before it happens, prevention is better than cure, right?
Yeah.
So some of the techniques I showed the ladies in the membership, the longer exhale than the inhale. So that is telling your body that, hey, this is all nice and relaxed. Everything is calm. In fact, I'm really happy. And it will then, if there is any cortisol or adrenaline in the system, it will reduce it. It will help your body to reduce it. And also it will tell your glands to stop putting it in your system. And it will then start to bring other hormones into your system to help you feel more relaxed and calm. Um, there are also some breathing techniques that you can do if you want to focus on anything to help. I don't know whether people have heard about the alternate nostril breathing. It's a very old breathing techniques that the yogis from India were doing thousands of years ago, and it's just where you block one nostril and you breathe in through that nostril, then you block it and you breathe out through the other one. So it sounds more complicated, it is, but it needs all of your focus to think about where the breath is going, which nostril you're using for the inhale, which nostril you're using for the exhale. And you only need to do that for 2-3 minutes, and suddenly all the chaos in your head has gone because you've been focused on this one thing of breathing. And because you're slowing down your breath, your body is relaxing because the cortisol levels are going down, and then you find yourself ready to do the task in hand. So, as I said to your ladies, practicing these techniques when you are already calm. And I gave the example, didn't I, of the children at school who have to practice the fire drills. So they practice fire drills on a regular basis so that they know when that alarm goes off, they know to stand up from their desks and make their way with the rest of their class in a calm, orderly fashion to their meeting place, wherever that might be, on the playground or whatever. And breathing is the same. So when those children hear a fire alarm, they don't run around like headless chickens. They get up and they walk around. They don't know whether it's a test or whether it's the real thing.
Mm.
They still just get up and walk out and go to their meeting spot. So the more you practice the different breathing techniques, you'll find when you need them, when you're in that crisis zone, or you can feel that anxiety building, you will know, okay, you'll find yourself automatically breathing. I certainly did on that journey from Lark Hill when my car was just going 4 miles an hour. Yes. Even thinking about it, I can feel the tension rising. So, bit of a sigh, just to let it go. Yes. So definitely breathing techniques are little magic spells that are actually so simple that everyone should be able to call on breathing techniques to help. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your story and how you've got into it and how you were inspired by learning from somebody else. And now that you've taken that learning, like you said, you originally was going to use it to aid what you were doing at the time, and now you've loved it so much that you've pivoted completely what you're doing.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more about how do you help people? Like what kind of ways do you work with people?
Okay, well, my favorite way is I've got a 1-to-1 6-week package. It's called Breathwork for Wellness. I take all the medical details, so it's really personalized because, as I was saying in the membership, I find the breathing patterns that my clients have already got, what they want to achieve, and then I will work in the breathing and teach them the breathing patterns they will need to start building their own toolkit of techniques that they can draw on. We start off with getting them out of dysfunctional breathing and getting them into functional breathing. So breathing like the little baby becomes more natural. And then we can go really quite amazingly. There's a lot of mind body connection breathing we can do. As I said, during a workshop, there was a lot of introspection about connecting yourself back with your body. What is your body telling you? And towards the end, there are some amazing techniques that can really help you shift some of those preconceived ideas and those, they call them limiting beliefs. I'm not quite sure what else to call them, but in the wellness world, they're called limiting beliefs. You know, these stories we tell ourselves, oh, I'm not good enough, or there are some breathing techniques that you can use that work with other talk therapies to help you shift those mindsets. So it goes all the way from physical, all the way to emotional and mindset. That's my favorite because I'm working with someone longer term. I do one-off sessions as well. If someone wants a nice, relaxing, I call that a sacred pause. So just an hour of breathing and relaxing and time for yourself. Um, and I've got a nice, lovely little Facebook group that I go in and we do some breathing techniques in that one as well. So yeah,
And what's the Facebook group called?
it's called Breathwork Women's Circle. Yeah.
And you mentioned in the masterclass as well that you've got some like free resources that you
Hmm.
share with people as well. So tell us a little bit about that. Is that great for people that are interested in maybe getting started with breath work?
Yeah, perfect for beginners, really. So what I did is I had a little look and I thought my 5 most popular techniques, I have created like a 5-day email series. Um, each breathing technique comes with a video to show you how to do it, a lovely bit of calming music so you can do the breathing yourself. Each video is only 5 minutes long. Breathing doesn't have to be 2 hours, 3 hours long. 5 minutes, that's all you need. And I've also created a little workbook that comes with it. You can download, you can jot down which breathing techniques you enjoyed, how it felt in your body, your awareness, whether particular counts worked well or didn't work well. So that's called Awaken Your Magic, Awaken Your Inner Magic. And that's 5 breathing techniques over 5 days to help you release some of the stress and anxiety. And I teach you a little bit of a focused breathing as well in there. So yeah.
And is the best place to find them on your website?
Yep, my website is the hub of everything. So I'm at wessexwisewoman.co.uk. You'll find everything. I've got lots of blog posts which also go into lots of detail. I let my breath nerd fly on my blog. And I've got lots of free resources and yeah, everything you need to know about my services and what I've got to offer.
Okay, that sounds brilliant. So what I'll be doing is putting any of the links that Kim has mentioned into the show notes. If you do want to find out any more about Kim's Facebook group, get that freebie with those 5 breathing techniques, or find out about working with Kim on a one-to-one basis, then you will find all of those in the show notes below. And if you would like to come and watch the whole of the masterclass that Kim delivered for the This Mum Loves Tech community, it was a brilliant session. She explained all of the techniques beforehand and then guided everyone through them. And yeah, the ladies who were on the call had some brilliant transformations by the end. They felt a lot calmer, more relaxed, ready to kind of get on with the rest of their day with a lot clearer head. So I'll put the details of joining the membership as well as Kim's lovely masterclasses, a whole range of guest masterclasses in there, from sales funnels, helping you with your tax returns. There's stuff to do with visibility and confidence and mindset, lots of things, because I know that tech does bring up these kind of faults for people and these barriers and these emotions, that I wanted to make sure that there was tools in the membership that can help you, your mind and your body, cope with dealing with the tech challenges as they come along as well. So Kim's masterclass fits in really nicely with that. And then if you do have any tech troubles, there's obviously weekly Q&A calls where you can come and ask your questions and I can help solve them, which also help clear your brain as well, get that task off your list. So yeah, if you want to know anything more about the membership, you can go to thismumlovestech.co.uk/membership. I just want to say to Kim, thank you so much for not only doing the masterclass, but coming onto the podcast, sharing a bit about your journey. It's just so lovely to hear about how you've got into breathwork. And you can just see you've just got this such calm, like collected way that you deliver stuff, that you can see how the breathwork is helping you do that. You just sit there and you can hear how calming your voice is and your messaging and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's great that you are now helping others kind of get into that calm state of mind as well, because the world is a very, very busy place.
Certainly is. Thank you. Yes.
So just before we go, I have to ask, because this is This Mum Loves Tech, do you have a favorite tech tool that you use to help you with delivering your breathwork coaching? Is there anything that you kind of use on a daily basis?
I, gosh, I do actually have quite a lot of tech. I'm not a tech phobe, let's put it that way. Um, so obviously I use Zoom quite a lot. I also use quite a few video calls, like a WhatsApp video call, Messenger video call. Yeah, because I do like face to face, because when we can see each other, you can really get, especially for me, if I'm doing breathing, I can see how people are breathing when they're breathing through their chest or the stomach. Um, Emailing, actually, you showed me how to use MailerLite, which was amazing ages ago. I have now moved on, but MailerLite is brilliant. I've I've got my platforms all on an all-in-one Go High Level platform. Um, so I now keep my courses and things all there.
Zoom's obviously a key one for you, and having that all in one system. So is your website on there as well? Because you said that your website is your hub.
Yeah, no, my website is a WordPress self-hosted.
Yeah.
So because I want my website is mine and nobody can take it away from me. So everything to do about me is on my own self-hosted website. But I use WordPress because have found that I've had websites since, wow, gosh, 2013, I think was my first website back in Blogger. Amazing though it was. I have tried other platforms, but the drag and drop of WordPress really suit me, and all the different plugins that you can get to do all the jobs so that I don't have to is marvelous.
It sounds like you have got a good tech stack behind you so that you can just concentrate on delivering your clients the brilliant service that you offer. So yeah, it's great to hear that you've got the tech sorted so that you can make the most of your time and help as many people as possible.
It's integrating it all so that it works smoothly. Because I was watching one of your free masterclasses about the Google Workspace. And I
Mm.
think if I didn't have the platform I had, I would use Google Workspace, because then everything's all together. Your emails are linked and people can swap and change, and everything's in the one place then, and you're not having to. I think that's the thing about working smarter, not harder, so that everything is together and it works easier for you and at your own pace. Because at the end of the day, it's got to work for you, hasn't it?
Yes, exactly. And a lot of the time it's got to work to deliver what it is that you do, which is often nothing to do with tech. As in, prime example here is you're helping people, stop, get away from the tech, do the breathing, but you still need to have those systems in the background if you are in business, kind of doing those kind of tasks for you. So
I still have my calendar system. I have the emails that go out when people have booked things. I have the confirmation forms, the business terms and condition forms that go out. I have feedback form, that go out, all automated, so that I can spend my time helping my clients with what I do best, and that's the breathing. And then the tech sorts everything else out for me.
exactly. Oh, that is exactly what I would like to get all my clients to that stage so they can just do what they love and do what they do best. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing that. And if there is anything that you want to ask Kim, she's also inside the This Mum Loves Tech community on Facebook. So go find Kim and ask her your questions if you've got anything on breathwork and how it can help you, especially when it comes to tackling the tech. So I just want to say again, Kim, thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. I've loved being here, and your membership is fantastic. Your ladies are lovely, so it was wonderful.
And yes, thank you. It was lovely to have you on, and thank you for joining me on today's episode. And I hope to see you on another edition of This Mum Loves Tech.